Krishna, can I go back to God? But it's the other way around. Krishna is inviting us. We're not like trying to crash the party and invite ourselves. We're like too busy. We've got more important things to do. So Krishna has to invite us. And it's completely backwards, isn't it? Krishna's inviting us back to God. We should be like, can I come? Knocking on the door. Let me in. Let me in. What do you want me to do? I'll do anything. But when we hear the next verse, 66, Krishna says, surrender. And when we hear that, we think, surrender. Sounds great. Isn't it? Surrender. That's not it. Surrender. Krishna says, surrender. And we think, I gotta think about this. This is a big commitment. So, Krishna's saying, please come back. And we're saying, let me think about it. I don't know if I'm ready. It takes time. You have to be real. Can't move too fast. And we have our whole list of hesitations. Yes? You have any hesitation? Yeah, we have a whole list. It's completely backwards. We should be knocking the door down. Krishna won't do anything, just let me in. And Krishna's asking us, and we're saying, no, I don't want it. I have to think about it. Don't you think that's great? Yeah. So, if we want to practice bhakti, it can't just be about how I feel. Well, I'm not ready, and this and that. We have to understand how Krishna feels. So, does Krishna want you to go back to Godhead? What do you think?
I think so.
Raise your hand if you think yes. Maybe some of you think God doesn't love you, but you're wrong. He does. So, Krishna wants us to go back to Godhead. Why? What did we do to qualify? We existed, that's all. Our qualification is we exist. We exist as sons and daughters of Krishna. So everyone is qualified. Because if I tell you Krishna loves you, God loves you, you think, how could that be? I don't deserve it. I'm not worthy of it. How did I become qualified? You become qualified by the nature of Krishna that he loves. It's not like I did anything. Coming from his side. Not because of anything we've done, but because of his nature. Because we always think, hey, I have to qualify. You do not have to qualify to love Krishna. He's already taken care of that part. So don't doubt that Krishna loves you, because you don't need a qualification, so you don't have an excuse. You can't say, I'm too this or that to be loved by him. No, it's not true. Krishna does not know how not to love. That's not part of his existence. So the problem is not whether or not Krishna loves me. What do you think the problem is? Whether or not what? I love Krishna. So if you're on the mental platform, whether Krishna loves me or not, that's a waste of time. And there's a problem, because if you think Krishna doesn't love you, then you'll think, well, why should I love him? He doesn't love me. Right? I'm such a rascal. Krishna doesn't love me, so that becomes my excuse. So I don't have to love him back. Does that make sense? If you have a doubt that Krishna loves you, then you can use that as an excuse. Well, but if we accept Krishna loves us, then it becomes a problem in the sense, now everything is on our shoulders. Yes? So you don't have to worry about being loved, you only have to worry about loving back. Now, I'm going to make you feel bad. Can I make you feel bad? This will be good for you. Sometimes you have to be made to feel bad, right? So, Krishna loves us a lot. And Prabhupada said, whatever you do for him, he'll do 10 times more for you. Do you know anybody who'll do 10 times more for you?
If you do, that's a good friend, a good lover. Krishna will do 10 times more. Krishna has everything arranged for us. Now, how can you turn your back on someone who more than anyone could ever love you? How could you do that? It's inconceivable, isn't it? Right? On my Facebook, this little 2-minute thing came up, and Prabhupada said, you turned your back on Krishna. Krishna tried to convince you not to leave, but you wouldn't listen, so he let you go. How does that make you feel? Pretty bad, right? Yeah. So we've turned our back on Krishna. He loves us. He wants us in a relationship with him. He wants us to love him. That's all he wants. Doesn't care if you're rich, famous. He doesn't care. You've done big service, little service, medium-sized service. He just wants your love. That's all. And we're so reluctant to give it. And we'll love everything. Prabhupada said, you will look at everything in this world other than Krishna. You will point your consciousness towards loving this, everything but Krishna. I'm trying to make you feel bad so that you I don't know, I hope I can inspire you by making you feel bad. Does Krishna want you to love him? Yes, he does. Does he care that you don't love him? Yes, he does. Don't think Krishna's up there somewhere, he's okay. No, he's not completely okay because we're not there. And that's hard to believe, but it's true. Krishna has everything, right? Well, no, he doesn't have everything. What doesn't he have? He doesn't have our heart. The Acharyas, some of the Acharyas, they define the Mahamantra, or the Mahamantra as a prayer. They say, Krishna, bring my heart to your heart. It's a very beautiful meditation if you're chanting. Krishna, bring my heart to your heart. What does that mean? It means make my heart the same as yours. Make my desire the same as yours. Make me one with what you want. So what does Krishna want? He wants our heart. And we're a bit reluctant to give it, don't you think? That independent desire, that independent will. And it's foolish because we're all looking for love. And I can guarantee you, if you make a lot of money, it won't bring you love. Love is not in the money. I guarantee you, it's not there. It's not in fame. It's not in upward mobility. Love doesn't exist in a new car and a new house. These things are not bad, but that does not create love, and that's what our heart wants. So matter cannot produce love. There's no matter that Krishna created that can produce love. And we want love, and Krishna's asking, and Krishna loves us, and we're turning our back. It's crazy, don't you think? It's very crazy. Another thing that's crazy is not only are we looking for love, we're looking for happiness. How long have we been looking for happiness? You'll say, well, I'm 25 years old, 25 years. No, 25 billion years we've been looking. Life after life after life. Life after life after life, we're looking for deep, satisfying happiness. And we're still looking. What does that mean? That means we haven't found it, doesn't it? Otherwise, you'd stop looking if you found it. Yes? Krishna can make an arrangement for our happiness. Far beyond what we can make. He's got control of everything. He can do it. And he's waiting to do it. He's waiting for us. He likes to do it. Krishna likes to serve his devotees. Krishna likes to make his devotees happy. And he's waiting for us to exchange. And he's seeing us here, and he's seeing that we're suffering in separation from him. And it makes him unhappy. And he wants us back because it will make us happy. And he wants us to be happy. What do you think? So, yesterday, Manohar said, what is your definition of bhakti? Give me a simple definition. I said, God loves you. Bhakti means God loves you. You accept that love and you reciprocate with it. That's it. 3 things. That's, if you want to put it in, cook it down to burfi. Krishna loves you. Open your heart, accept that love, and reciprocate. That's it. If you understand that, you've understood Bhagavad Gita, you get your certificate. Everyone who understands that at the door will give you a certificate. You've understood Bhagavad Gita. Krishna loves you, you open your heart, accept that love, and now you try to reciprocate through service. That's it. Pretty simple, right? Now, Krishna is not complicated. Krishna is simple. You think, how can I love Krishna? It's like, who am I? I'm a fallen, conditioned soul. How can I love God? That's a big thing. Love is called prema. That's high, 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 high. But Krishna makes it easy because all you have to do is be sincere. If you study Prabhupada's books and you study the question, what is the qualification for bhakti, the word sincerity will come up like 95% of the time. So all we need is a little sincerity. Sincerity means what? What does sincerity mean? Sincerity means I want to serve Krishna for his pleasure. I'm not trying to get anything from him. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm not trying to gain anything material. I just want to serve him for his pleasure. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. Can we do that? Can we serve Krishna for his pleasure? We can do it. And that's how we love him. Patra pushpam palam toyam. Now,
everyone sit down, please. Everyone sit down, please. There will be no prasadam served out. Everyone please remain in the temple.
prasadam will be served at 7:45? Okay. 8:15. 8 o'clock. Sometime, but not now. Yeah, so... So just think, this is amazing. Krishna says, I want you to love me, and how do you do it? Oh, get a flower and offer it to me with devotion for my pleasure. That's sincerity. You do this for my pleasure. That's sincerity. When you come to bhakti, you come with a desire, some sincerity, some little bit. You need sincerity. If you don't have sincerity, you can't go up in bhakti. Sincerity means some desire to align myself with what Krishna wants. Right? That's what brings you to bhakti. That's what keeps you in bhakti. It brings you your armor. It brings you, and it keeps you, and it protects you, and it keeps you going. And that's within our fist. We can do that. And that's all Krishna wants. And that is our love. Simple. That's all he asks. Can we do it? We're going to give it a try. All right. Can we do it? Yeah. We've tried everything else. And everything else didn't work. So... And Krishna is saying, try this, it works. Yes. There's a beautiful scene. A devotee named Gop Kumar, he travels throughout the universe and eventually he makes it and meets Krishna in the spiritual world. And Krishna tells him, I was aware of all the suffering that you went through. I know what you had to go through to reach me. Krishna knows the difficulties, the struggles that we go through to try to love him, and he appreciates it. And Prabhupada once said, Krishna likes to see his devotees struggle. And that sounds weird, doesn't it? It makes me happy. What Prabhupada meant is that when a devotee is trying to detach himself, there will be difficulties, and he'll have to struggle through those difficulties to push on. And when the devotee pushes on in spite of the difficulties, even sometimes if he fails, but he gets back up and he keeps trying, Krishna says, yes, it's my man, it's my woman. Krishna likes to see that. So it's not the falling that's a problem. If you fall and you have difficulty, it's an opportunity to show Krishna, I'm not going to give up. And Krishna likes to see that. He goes, yes. He likes to see us struggle. That's also a sign of our love, that we won't give up. We'll struggle for the service. We'll give up some attachment. We'll do something that's difficult that we don't want to do, but it's good for our bhakti. And Krishna will go, yes, 5 points for you. Especially now, Balaram Jayanti, you can get some bala, some strength, push through. And then, when you have a thought or a desire and it's pushing you, but you know it's bad and you don't give into it, Krishna looks at it and says, yes, 5 points for you. He likes that. And when you try your best, but you don't produce a result, Krishna says, yes, you tried, 5 points or 10 points or whatever his scoring system is. You get his mercy, not because you achieved something, but because you tried your best. You don't get cursed because you have a sinful thought. You get appreciated because you didn't act on it. That's Krishna. He knows it's hard, and he appreciates our struggle. So that's how we love him. That's how we show our love. That's how we give our heart. And if we do that, then bhakti becomes sweeter, 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 sweeter. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, questions, comments, arguments? I hope you feel better now. Hope I didn't put you in a state of anxiety and depression. And guilt. No, guilt, yeah. But guilt can be good sometimes. Little guilt is good, Yes? Oh. I couldn't hear what he was saying. Doesn't matter. Okay. All right. Hare Krishna.
Well, because you were saying how Krishna was upset at the fact that we're not with him because, well, he loves us very much, right? And I guess there's a certain shared emotion, but obviously Krishna will be conscious of it because he knows what's wrong, and we don't consider it, and we're like, why don't I feel good? It's because we're not with God. But wouldn't that kind of imply that there's always going to be a certain part of Krishna that's somewhat upset?
No. There's a certain part of us that's upset because we think Krishna's upset. Because the Father, he's very tolerant. And if the Father sees you're trying, then he's like so happy. See, the thing is, we can't think of Krishna like we think of ourselves. So like we understand our own psychology and we think, well, if I was in that situation, I would be upset, right? Or we try to think, well, how could Krishna love me? It's like there's not a lot of lovable things. I've done a lot of bad things. So we're looking at it logically from a perspective, if I were Krishna, I would have a hard time loving all these people. right? So we don't want to look at that way. We're his sons and daughters. He sees us with affection. And, why did he come and speak Bhagavad Gita if he didn't care? He had to come down here and do all his leelas. He did them all for us, right? If he didn't come do his leelas, there's no Julian Yatra, because there's no leela to celebrate. But he does all these things so we can celebrate. In India, they have so many celebrations, they're all around something Krishna did. So and then he arranged that Prabhupada would come to New York, 1965. So if he didn't care about us, he wouldn't have come. And so many Indians did not become Krishna conscious until they came to America. So that's a transcendental arrangement. Like Krishna's like, okay, they're not going to become Krishna conscious in India. I'll send Prabhupada to America. They'll all want to come to America, live a better life, and then they'll become Krishna conscious in America. So, some way Krishna's arranging to capture us. If we see that, if we look at it that way, we'll see that. And so all our negativity and that it's not bothering him per se. He's just longing for that relationship. There's a very interesting thing that was explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He is a great spiritual master that lived when? Who knows? 200 years? 300? Do you know? Vishwanath Chakravarti? 300 years? 250? Something like that. So he said, well, there's two things. First, I'll tell you what Prabhupada said. A devotee said, Srila Prabhupada, I can't imagine that Krishna really loves me or cares about me, because he has unlimited devotees who are pure. So why, I'm just like one person hanging out in the material world, doing a good job of avoiding him. Like, why would he care about me? And Prabhupada said, it's just like if you have a finger that's diseased, and you go to the doctor, and the doctor says, well, we'll just cut it off, you still have 9 more. And you'll say, no, I need all 10. So Prabhupada said, every living entity is important for Krishna. He doesn't want to lose any. Every single one is important. Why are they important? Well, there are many reasons we've discussed, but there's another reason which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains. He said that every living entity has a unique relationship with Krishna. So Krishna enjoys with each of us in a different way. So this is interesting. Now I'll make you feel bad again. It's like, Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors. So we are each a flavor, a rasa, a particular relationship. It's like a man who has 5 wives. Each wife is a different flavor. So we're each a different flavor for Krishna. What Krishna can enjoy with you, he can't enjoy with the person next to you. It's different. It's a special. So now, do you want to deprive Krishna of the enjoyment he can get from you? I hope not. Does that make you feel bad? I hope it does. Hope you have nightmares tonight, thinking, I have to love Krishna. If I don't love Krishna, I can't face the day. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. So Krishna wants your heart. He wants that relationship. It's special. It is an amazing meditation. I know it's hard to just embrace this, but it's amazing meditation to imbibe deeply in your heart the fact that he loves you. That's like amazing. If you allow your open your heart and let Krishna in, that is an amazing experience. And then from that, your whole bhakti now becomes just a game, so to speak, of reciprocating. That's it. Just reciprocate. It's like he's given me so much mercy, so much love. I have to reciprocate. And that's all bhakti is. It's reciprocation. Like when you're chanting, you're getting his love and you're giving it back. It's just a circle. It's a beautiful way to hear the holy name. It's coming and giving. Yes?
So maybe sometimes we experience that Krishna loves us, but then somehow we're forgetting later that Krishna loves us. Why are we forgetting?
Because maybe we don't love ourselves and we can't think that how he could love us. I don't even like myself. Why would he like me? That's possible. I can't say for you if that's true, but that's something you can think of. Or we can go into the logical mode, is like, it doesn't make sense that he would love me. Or just fall out of it. And your mind goes logical, right? So that's a possibility also. And some of us have a nature where if we do something bad, we can't forgive ourselves. So something in the past may be there and you just can't forgive yourself, and you think, well, God wouldn't forgive me either because what I did was so bad. There could be many reasons. And some of the reasons could be so subconscious you don't even know. But in one sense, you don't have to. If you have faith, then you won't even have to worry about that. But contemplate it yourself. I think you need to ask that question to yourself. Contemplate that question. Have you done something so bad in your life, what you consider so bad that you think, how could God love me after having done that? It's possible, right? Yes, we could probably think of a lot of things. But he doesn't think like that. Like I was telling you, he doesn't think like we think. So we think logically he wouldn't love me because I did this, but he doesn't think that way. Because I love you, I'm speaking this to you. So do you believe he loves you, or is he just bluffing? And all the evidence is there. Prabhupada said, the air, the sun, the water, everything you have, it's come from Krishna. If he didn't love you, like, let's turn the lights off, let's turn the water off, let's turn the air off. I hate all you guys, you know. But I think the greatest manifestation of Krishna's love is that Prabhupada came here. He arranged for Prabhupada to come here. Right? And you couldn't think of many other manifestations of love. Look, you became a devotee, right? Now this is very interesting. You became a devotee, and if your story is like everyone else's story, you had certain events in your life that brought you to a point where you could become a devotee. And if you removed any one of those events, that may have not been possible. Like they all lined up and it was like, bingo, then you meet a devotee. And if you met a devotee a year before, it wouldn't have happened, right? You weren't ready. And so you were ready at that time you met a devotee. Who arranged that? Why did he arrange it? Because he hates you? He arranged it because he loves you. You can all think of your story, how you've come to Krishna consciousness, and you can see everything was arranged by Krishna, even the bad, because you needed that to get the realization to be able to accept Krishna. He arranged it all. How can we say he doesn't love us? Think of it like this. You're walking on the wrong path. And Krishna knows what's in your heart, and he picks you up like a puppet and just pulls you out of the material world, takes you off the path you were on, the material path, and puts you on the path of bhakti. That's what happened to us. There's an interview with our godbrother, Prabhu, who used to be here. And the interviewer asks every devotee he interviews, every Prabhupada disciple, how'd you become a devotee? And he said, I don't know how it happened. I have no idea. It's inconceivable that I could be pulled out of the material world and become a devotee. I don't know. It's like I can't explain it logically. And if you think about it, it's true for all of us. Like, how did it happen? From sex, drugs, to rock and roll, to brahmachari, celibate. It's like, I don't know how that happened. You know, it's like, whoa, you know? It's, right? And I think for Indians coming here, seeing Westerners living as brahmacharis, that's like, it's almost inconceivable, isn't it? It's like, wow, how do you do that? That was all arranged by Krishna because he knew what was in our heart. We couldn't do it on our own, right? So Don't you think that's amazing? Like Krishna knew what was going on in your mind and he made arrangements for you personally to get out of the material world. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Isn't that love? We couldn't do it on our own. So like, look at the evidence. The evidence is there. Krishna loves us. If there's a doubt or something, it may, due to some conditioning or, something in your life that's causing you to doubt it. But look at the evidence. It's there. It's beautiful, isn't it? Like Krishna knows. He knows what's going on. He's taking his time out to help us. Every realization you get, where did it come from? Did you ever get a realization? It was like the perfect realization. I'm struggling with A, B, and C, and then I get an aha moment. I go, that's it. Did that ever happen to you? And it kind of dissipates the problem. Where did it come from? That person who loves you. He's trying to help you. He wants you to go back to Godhead more than you do. He's like showing realizations on you all the time. And sometimes we're like, whatever. We don't pay attention. But he's helping us. He must love us. Yes?
Hi, Krishna. So my question is, you kind of partially answered just in those last couple of sentences about how, and earlier in class, how Krishna's more anxious than we are to get back to the spiritual world. But in another way, as conditioned souls here, especially ones who haven't become devotees yet, they're indirectly serving Krishna through this material energy. I was wondering if Krishna still takes pleasure from that. Like, of course, he wants us to be back in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
Krishna still.
He takes pleasure like a parent takes pleasure when their child is starting to walk. Because it's really interesting. I think it's maybe in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita by Sanatana Goswami. He says the greatest jewel, or something like this, the most valuable jewel in Krishna's treasury is the Maha Mantra. You think, why? I thought it was Radharani. Why is it the Maha Mantra? Well, one reason, at least according to my speculation, so to speak, contemplation on this, is that Maha Mantra will bring us back to Krishna. So that's the most we are the most valuable thing for Krishna, and we are here, and the Maha Mantra will bring us back to him. So for him, that's the most valuable thing. So when he sees us chanting and he sees us progressing in spiritual life, it means we're on our way back. So it makes him happy, and vice versa. You see, I think the problem is when we look at Krishna, maybe we have this Judeo-Christian idea of a God that doesn't have those kinds of feelings. But he has all those feelings. That's why we have all those feelings. So parents miss their children when their children run away. He misses us when we run away. When they finally get a letter after 10 years and the kid says, I'm suffering, I want to come back, the parents are happy. Krishna's happy. So it's not that those feelings are not there. We kind of think they're not there. He's just God. It's like, that idea of God. He's just, no, he's a sentient being. Now, here's something really interesting that can take that to another level. When you read Bhagavad Gita, instead of reading it intellectually, you can also read it from the perspective of feeling. So just instead of trying to understand what Krishna is saying, try to feel what he's saying. So when Krishna says, because you're very dear to me, you can analyze that. Okay, well, the living entities are dear to Krishna. It doesn't mean you feel that. But you could also feel it when you read it. Because you're very dear to me, like, what does that mean? So you feel Krishna's, his emotion, his feeling, and that would answer your question. And you can read all these verses from the point of feeling. There's a completely different perspective on it. Because it's not in here anymore, it's in here. So it's a beautiful way to read. Not the only way, but it's a beautiful way to read. Because now you can you can feel Krishna's desire. Become my devotee, worship me, offer your obeisances to me, etc., etc. You'll come back to me. I promise you this because you're my very dear friend. Krishna says, I promise you this. Feel that. What is he saying? You don't trust me. That's what he, when you read it from feeling, then it's like, hey, I promise. Like, I have to promise you because you have doubts. Right? So how does that make you feel? When you're like, oh, that's heavy. Krishna's doubting us. God is having to say, you can trust me. You do this, I'll bring you back to Godhead. You can trust me, don't worry. So you feel that, it's very heavy. Oh, we don't trust him. It's a beautiful way to read Prabhupada's books. Feel it. What's the feeling? Prabhupada said you can feel the Maha Mantra. What's the feeling? You feel it. Krishna's love, Krishna's hand pulling us out. Krishna's desire, you can feel it. And you can feel your own desire, if you have one, to reconnect. So when you feel Krishna's desire, it's easy then to reciprocate back. You want to hear something funny? Sometimes when we do japa retreats and devotees say, well, I don't feel anything. And they're not feeling anything coming from the Maha Mantra, but they're also not giving anything back. So when we're not giving anything back, you don't feel anything. So why not manifest something back and you can feel? So anytime you're chanting, say, I don't feel anything. The simplest thing to do is put feeling into your chanting so you can feel something. Because basically when you don't feel anything is because you're not putting anything into it. You're feeling blah, blah in, blah out. So. But if I'm appreciating the holy name, it's much easier. If I'm appreciating Krishna, it's much easier to put that feeling into it. Because it's reciprocal. Krishna, please help me love you. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, I am crying at the feet of the holy name, begging for mercy. It's so beautiful. He wrote a song called Sankirtan something, and it's a song on Shishastakam. So the third verse of Shishastakam is that I should be more humble than grass, more tolerant than a tree, offer all respects to others, not want any respect for myself. That's impossible. I respect everyone, every ant, every mosquito, every fly. I can't even respect, 10% of the people in this room. And I'm supposed to respect every living entity and look at you like I'm a piece of grass for you to walk on and not want any respect and honor for myself. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his prayer, he says, my dear Krishna, this is impossible to do. I cannot do it. Therefore, I'm crying and begging at your feet, at the feet of the holy name for your mercy so I could do this. That's it, right? Krishna, you want me to love you. That's impossible. I'm crying and begging at your feet. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. That's it. That's the mood. It's impossible, but you want me to do it, so I'm going to try. And then Prabhupada said, you chant 16 rounds every day, you follow 4 principles, I will take you back to Godhead. And the devotees say, Prabhupada, how is that possible? That's all we have to do. He said, yes, that's all you have to do. Doesn't seem possible. But Prabhupada, when I go back to Godhead and I go through the security gate, it's going to beep because I have so many narthas. They're not going to let me in. I'll be there. I'll get you in. Don't worry. 16 rounds, 4 principles. Okay. So maybe that doesn't seem possible, but that's what Prabhupada said. So we do it. Hare Krishna. What else is there to do? Nothing. That's it. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanandi. Hare Hare Go. Ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.